Welcome back to the Malaysia Money Matters show. It's December 20th, 2024.
Almost Christmas.
Yeah, just a few days before Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And the Malaysian market is giving us a lot to unpack. We've got some really interesting company news that could signal some great investment opportunities, so let's dive right in.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of positive movement despite some global economic headwinds.
Yeah.
But to fully understand these potential opportunities, we need to kind of look at the bigger picture,
Okay.
starting with the global landscape.
Okay, so let's set the stage. What are the major global factors that Malaysian investors that could impact them right now?
Well, the U.S. Fed's recent signals about a slower pace of interest rate cuts in 2025
Okay.
are definitely having a ripple effect.
Uh-huh.
This hawkish cut, as some are calling it, is strengthening the U.S. dollar against the ringgit,
Right.
which can be a mixed bag for Malaysian investors.
That makes sense. A stronger dollar could be good for those holding U.S. dollar assets.
Right.
But it also makes investing in those assets more expensive up front.
Exactly.
So there's definitely a trade-off there.
Exactly. And then, of course, we have the Trump factor.
Yay.
His return to the White House is injecting a level of uncertainty into the global market,
Right.
particularly because of his history with trade wars.
Oh, right. The Trump trade war.
Yeah.
That was a big deal during his previous term. How could that potentially impact Malaysian companies this time around?
Well, if he implements similar protectionist policies, it could disrupt global trade
Uh-huh.
and negatively impact Malaysian companies that rely heavily on exports to the U.S.
Yeah.
It's definitely something investors should be mindful of when evaluating potential opportunities.
So we've got the Fed's moves and Trump's potential policies to consider. Anything else happening globally that could impact the Malaysian market?
We're also seeing some Asian central banks starting to push back against the strengthening dollar by intervening in currency markets.
Okay.
They're essentially trying to defend their own currencies, which could potentially stabilize the regional market.
Interesting. So even with all this uncertainty on the global stage, there are still some potential positives for Southeast Asia.
Yes, some analysts believe that Southeast Asian stocks could be a safe haven amidst the global volatility.
Okay.
They point to factors like strong domestic demand within the region
Uh-huh.
and potential shifts in global supply chains that could benefit Southeast Asian economies.
Okay, so there's a lot going on globally that could impact Malaysian investors. But what about the Malaysian market itself? What positive company news are we seeing?
There are a few companies making headlines with their recent performance and strategic moves. Pentamaster Corp BHD, for example, is taking their Hong Kong-listed subsidiary. Pentamaster International, private.
What does that mean for investors who are interested in Pentamaster?
Well, this move offers minority shareholders an exit opportunity at a premium.
Okay.
It also allows Pentamaster to streamline their operations, which could lead to increased efficiency and profitability.
Okay.
It's a development worth looking into.
That sounds promising. What other companies are making waves?
Winstar Capital BHD recently debuted on the ACE market,
Uh-huh.
which is a market for emerging companies in Malaysia.
Okay.
And their shares surged over 45% on their first day of trading.
Wow, 45%. That's quite a debut.
Yeah.
What's driving this surge in investor interest?
Winstar is backed by Sunview Group BHD, and they're expanding their aluminum production capacity. But what's even more intriguing is their interest in the solar PV market,
Okay.
which is experiencing significant growth globally.
So they're not just sticking to aluminum. That's interesting, especially with China recently removing their export tax rebates for aluminum products. Could that impact Winstar's strategy?
Absolutely. This move by China could actually make Winstar's aluminum products more competitive globally.
Uh-huh.
It's something to consider when evaluating their potential.
Okay, so we've got Pentamaster streamlining their operations and Winstar potentially capitalizing on the global aluminum market. What other companies should investors have on their radar?
ES Sunlogy BHD, an M&E engineering services provider, is another one to watch. They've signed an underwriting agreement for their upcoming IPO on the ACE market,
Okay.
which means they're preparing to go public.
What makes ES Sunlogy stand out as a potential investment opportunity?
They're focused on providing sustainable solutions,
Okay.
which is a growing market, particularly for sectors like data centers that have high energy demands.
Uh-huh.
Their upcoming IPO could be a good opportunity for investors who are interested in the sustainability space.
From sustainable solutions to convenience stores, our next company is a familiar name, MyNews Holdings, BHD. They've been making headlines for their impressive comeback.
Yes, they recently reported a nearly four-fold increase in net profit for their fourth quarter, demonstrating a significant turnaround.
That's great news for MyNews. What's driving this impressive comeback?
They've been opening new stores and improving their operations, but they're also venturing into the coffeehouse business,
Okay.
which could be a smart move considering the growing coffee culture in Malaysia.
Okay, so they're not just relying on their convenience store model.
Right.
That's a good sign of their willingness to adapt and grow. What other companies are showing strong performance?
United Malacca BHD, a palm oil producer, is another one to consider. They just reported their highest quarterly profit in 4 years, thanks in part to favorable palm oil prices.
Palm oil is a major commodity in Malaysia, so that's definitely a positive sign. What's the outlook for palm oil prices moving forward?
Analysts expect palm oil prices to remain relatively stable,
Okay.
which bodes well for companies like United Malacca. It could be a solid investment for those looking to diversify their portfolios with an agricultural play.
From palm oil to home improvement, our last company on the list is Mr. DIY Group. They're a well-known brand in Malaysia, but they've also been making moves internationally.
Yes, their Indonesian arm recently had a very successful market debut, demonstrating the company's regional expansion strategy.
That's a great sign for Mr. DIY. What are the broader implications of their success in Indonesia?
Their successful expansion into Indonesia could inspire other Malaysian companies to explore similar regional growth strategies. It highlights the potential for growth and investment opportunities within Southeast Asia, even with the global economic uncertainties we discussed earlier.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of positive company news with potential investment opportunities. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, there's one more piece of news I wanted to touch on. The acquittal of Datin Seri Rosma Mansur.
Yes, she was recently acquitted of the litigation case.
Right.
This is a significant development, but it's important to remember that it's only one piece of the ongoing legal battle surrounding figures linked to the 1MDB scandal.
That's right. There's still a separate civil suit against Rosma that's making its way through the courts. It's a complex situation with a lot of twists and turns.
Exactly. And it's worth noting that this case, and others related to 1MDB, can have implications for investor confidence in Malaysia. It's something to be aware of.
So we've got a lot to digest here. Global economic factors, positive company developments, and even some political news that could impact the Malaysian market.
Yes.
Okay. But I want to leave you with a thought to ponder as you navigate the Malaysian market in the coming year.
A provocative thought to spark your own analysis and strategic thinking.
With the global economic landscape shifting so rapidly, especially with potential changes in the U.S., what unique opportunities and challenges do you foresee specifically for Malaysian businesses?
That's a great question to consider. Will certain sectors thrive under new trade agreements or struggle to adapt to potential protectionist policies?
Right.
What role will technology and innovation play in driving growth for Malaysian companies on the global stage?
And how will these factors influence your investment decisions in the coming year?
Those are all good questions.
Yeah.
These are the questions we encourage you to explore further. As always, we urge you to dig deeper into the companies and news we've discussed, conduct your own research, connect the dots, consider those global influences, and make informed investment choices that align with your individual financial goals. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the dynamic Malaysian market.
Until next time.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and happy investing.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.